Hello, grade 6. Today we're doing substitution, which is just substituting a number for a variable. But first, the starter has nothing to do with substitution. The starter is write in product form. Okay, that means just write it without the multiplication sign. So the first one here, we have 3 times b, we write 3b. And the second one, we have 4 times b times 2. Now we can do 4 times 2, that's 8. So we can write this as 8 times b, which is just 8b, of course. Okay, next we have c times 5 times d. We normally write the number first and then the two letters next to each other. This means 5 times c times d. Okay, in the next example here, we have a plus sign, so we have 3 plus b times 4. The b times 4 becomes 4b. We write the number first. Okay, that means 4 times b. It's just another way of writing it. And the next example, we got 2 multiplication signs. So here we have 4g, and here we have 3h. Okay, in the next example, we've got m times m. M times m, well, that's a number times itself, so you can write that as m squared minus n squared. Okay, the next example, this is substitution. This is where we're taking a value for x and substituting it into expression. So I'm going to do that over here. So instead of x, we're going to write some brackets to indicate multiplication, and then subtract. Okay, subtract 11. So that is negative 8 minus 11, which is negative 19. Okay, in the next example, we have x equals 12, so let me write it over here. So instead of x, we're going to write 12. 12 divided by 3 plus 2 equals 4, plus 2 equals 6. And in part C, we've got a set of brackets here, so let's write the brackets and then just replace the x with a 7. So that's 7 plus 3. Remember, there's no symbol here. That means multiplication. So we're going to have 4 times 10, which is 40. Okay, in the next example, we've got x right here, and x is negative 8. So let's do negative 8 plus 2 over 3. That gives you in the numerator negative 6 divided by 3, which equals negative 2. Now in example 2, we've got a table of values, it's called. So that means you do 3 times t plus 2 for each of these different values of t. Okay, so if t equals 1, we have 3 times 1 plus 2, and that equals 5. So you put a 5 here in the table. And for t equals 3, we have 3 times 3 plus 2 is 11. And for t equals 6, we have 3 times 6 plus 2 equals 20. And for 15, we have 3 times 15 plus 2. That's 30 plus 2 is 32. So you have to use this expression for each value of t to fill in the table. Okay, in example 3, we have the cost of hiring a tennis court. It's given by this formula, where c is the cost and h is the number of hours the court is hired for. Find the cost of the hiring for 4 hours and 10 hours. So if it's 4 hours, then we just substitute in 4 into the equation. All right, we get 28. That's dollars, so you can stick a dollar sign, usually in front though. And the cost for 10 hours is simply 5 times 10 plus 8, which is $58. Okay, and next we have a few exercises here. So you do the same kind of thing we just did above. Let me do one example. Let's do this one right here, number L. So we have 8d. So evaluate 8d if d is 3. So that means just 8 times 3, which equals 24. Okay, and you do the same thing down here, but there's 2 variables in this one right here. Okay. Then we have a short puzzle. Okay, with a joke, I believe. So each expression can be written in a shorter form. So this is just like product notation. So for example, this one here is a times b. That's just ab. And that's the letter I. So you just find ab down here and you put in a letter I. Okay. And this will spell something at the end. Okay, here's some more table of values. This is just like we did above. Okay, and then there's a challenging thing here where you can represent each shape with 0 to 12. So you can try that if you're up to it. We also have a couple of puzzles that you can do. The first one is an easier puzzle where you just substitute in 4, 2, and -2, and you see which one works. In the first example, the answer is 2. So that means you put a letter E in this square right here. Okay, and the second puzzle has some more challenging things. So if you want more of a challenge, you can do the second puzzle.